You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Of course, Detective.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in. Just a trash container. There is no such thing. Your fingers start to itch just looking at that padlock.
We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
He might also have information. The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils. The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expect. You feel a great force ringing from your stomach until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bitter.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. Sure you do. You just threw up a lot. There is freight nearby, east of the hostel. There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the Whirling in Rags.
Pretty clever.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white rectangle on its back.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you... Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous.
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide? Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a boxer. And you've climbed way too high up there. Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Yes, it can be difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distrust and outright hate.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing extra... The corpse looks at you. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up.
He's about to blow!
This trash can just... Your fingers start to itch.
We could try using a pry bar. We might want to ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
Can I help you? Mine? No, it...
Thank you for clearing that up.
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why.
I thought as much. And are you the...
Well, yes.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you. Prod at him and find out.
Callous? What are you? Krasmazov? Almost all establishments...
Krasmazov, nom de guerre, was an economist and a historical materialist. He was a leading figure on the Grad side of the Centennial Revolution, where he headed the 9-day government. Mazov is considered the father of scientific communism, Mazovian thought, or Mazovianism.
What are we talking about? Was this not about the trash container?
Was there something you wanted? What for? Mazov? Are you planning to...
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
This trash container with a well-oiled crack. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches as the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they will drop them in here, officer. Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with the belt is missing.
something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the...
This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow...
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. You see milk and egg rest with what... You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are it's just organic waste. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but...
Officer, is that your paperwork? Yes, it is. Look. This plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an out... If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? Understood.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depict only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. You said you didn't want to talk about the ledger. However, now that you have it back, it would not hurt to start...
The ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete. Right. What more do you need? A rubber condom stuck to the back. A graffito that says defeated. I think you catch the drift. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in... Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files, commit to paper." Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51. This year, it's the middle of March. You have attempted to... What do you mean? Is that all? There is, for precisely one more. 15 once all the tasks are accomplished. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. The lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. He is not really saying anything.
Know that I give this to you with reason.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. Things to be done and things already.
No, actually. Any ideas? Furies. Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest. Could you make it less poetic somehow?
Yes. You know what that normal name is, but it's so plain.
Great. That's great. That's actually... I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out. Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. 2. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. I prefer a normal caseload.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. The notebook is annual. It says 51. Yes, it appears you employ a title, one might say even. One that draws, yes, all caps. One is called others appear more light-hearted. The guy's on a couch. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done.
Yes, how very childish of you. It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named... I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now. Yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41. Then, date of initialization. And why, yes, your precinct, every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. That is improbable. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want murder? Tum at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just could. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at... No, he was awful. Awful. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere. And you look into it. Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull bust. No one enters. No one exits. Mills has no idea. See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah. Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up. This one is relatively easy. Cause of failure. The mural is enormous. True love is possible. Only in the... People call it that thing. And the graffito crew is easy. The case files do not show you finding them. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villalobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between two, a staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world. For no one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? AKA Leslie and Burke. A.K. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage. And you would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun? Can you keep yourself off the street? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer J. No, that he must have confused. In the process, he came up, can't get out, which is also why the officer responsible. Narrowly, it would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? That's all. Who knows? One day you may still catch them. Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof. Yes, as you said here, they were leaving it out. Cigarette butts. No, you didn't have time. Not much has changed in the meanwhile. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's looks like an official mark, made to...
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information. Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen water.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn them.
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting.
Maybe yours will have.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some then rip them from the binder and hand them. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are you don't have to be an intellectual. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to. But they appear. These are quite sinister in tone, all in a print so a dozen pages of thin copy paper. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off, you know, like the bits they put into public piss bowls. Probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet, which you're not sure you smelled this one yet. Or worse, the lieutenant observes you, raising and lowering the toilet.
Excuse me, I just have to ask again. How did it get in the trash? Okay, no problem.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. Something rattles inside, and something small inside. Light permeables. It's not. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is. With your hands, you 4-sized pages hang from the. The 2 sides of the board appear slightly. The slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, without resistance or sound, the 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard. 2 octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other. Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like it smells of chewing gum. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think familiar handwriting lines the inside of the cup. A young woman in her 20s. There is care. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it. Your hand shakes, holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It all kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. You feel the ledger slip from your hand.
is nothing. Again. Nothing sad, brother. No treachery, just black. Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you, that's still there. And the small light that's on, that's me. Blue eyes, that's me. Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion, even in the dark, here in the paleo-mammalian, because it's always there.
Tell him. Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the old factory system, they call it the ape. It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
There is no Voyager Road. Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. What was that about? You think they would let you?
Yes.
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's...
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water.
What happened? Right. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed? Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it under the tool.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage? If you want to earn some change by guilting people, go for it. Guillaume Le Million. Bad news. Guillaume Le Million did not become a cop. In 1938, he went on a tour to the Sinyao province in Safre, where he died of autoerotic asphyxiation. His body was found hanging from a decorative dragon tree in his junior suite amid drug paraphernalia. Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there. The trash collection service, CS Municipal.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will thank you anyway.
Yes? What thing? Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings, dumb,
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Was there something else? Because I have coasters to stack. What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything in... That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been... Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist... Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
All right. Ready? I turn.
The dashboard lights up like a leopard. The lights unfold with a little clip.
There you go. I'll turn them on.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street
There she is. Revachol West.
around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro perforations. The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet
Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
there are many of them, and they are the first row has 18 dots. Not bad for what? You don't even... The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the board. You count 216 perforations. Considering that nice, large number, the last row has 3. That's it.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your...
Alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? Fair point. This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed... Wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than call it what you want. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 for an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is... There are certain officers who treat their kills like... But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the...
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight, no explanation given. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon... Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole... So tell me, what do you need? Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Ilmaran market lately. Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. This rockin' beauty sure is like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long...
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off. Not my thing. Chasing...
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal. Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
I'm okay, man. Just...
Maybe the full-on, direct approach wasn't correct.
Don't be a stranger.
Old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's a silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III." As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old Sumption. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial, stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry, he was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later. Cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect beneath the cold waters of the Insul. The original was blown apart, but most historians think the code. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined. The statue is supposed to capture the moment. People in Martinez tend to disagree. Those critics might have it wrong though. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his, not that he ever did in life either. Something with great kinetic energy. Someone shot him in the heart.
Okay, I can't... Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place, so why not? What is...
The king stands high above. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods a the photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century. There's no response wherever this...
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Why? I just told you.
We have a right to work! Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down. We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes. Good. We're fighting for a cause here. Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence. Rights of people, rights of workers to have.
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling.
Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the... Maybe you should ask them the questions. Like, we have families to feed, you piece.
So do we, Scab.
Honest men and women with rights. We came here to help the harbor run smoothly.
I have a question. Why do all these men...
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy. We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't. Main gate's locked. Would take heavy ordnance. And I don't mean the scrawny mess punk either. I mean head measurer, or whatever he is. Like civilized folk, you mean? These native fucks.
It would be better for the neighborhood if you went home.
No! They will give up eventually. Or get drunk. Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss. Right to work! It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup, open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
Why not? I see numerous reasons not to pick a side in this local matter.
Pity. Let us!
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flasky
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Gotta be bloody stupid or freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess Scared, mate. Personally, I'd rather beg than scam. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something. We've explained the matters, but they don't listen.
Big guy. He means the leader of the scabs.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever... Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us... Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the wild north? Come to see the strife? You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss...
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike too. Just can't break the command structure and tell you now.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. I don't operate in that capacity.
If it's so simple, why did this...
I walk right past me. Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right, then press the button to unlock the door, then go past him again, and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coast...
Body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm. I'm Sandwich. You are not. What is this androgynous display of...
Merely standing up makes you sweat profusely. Your breathing is
Stop it! You are embarrassing yourself in front of this woman. This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a strong...
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in... No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental haplogroup B. Jerking motions. Signs of a late-stage neurodegenerative. You gave the world eugenics, electricity. You dominated les circuits. You will be super...
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
Enough with this begging. You should leave this. Bring your troops. The walls will be lined.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshached's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. Well, not as such. What you do with a mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Those are the Simony. A receding genetic pool has led them on reprehensible. You know them by the names of the...
Mahoon is a derogative term for first world people of Gotvoldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, in some municipalities of Oranje,
The Maun are proof that you...
colorful tassels are, Let's be honest.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper, the other large mondial overproduction of as proven by the Maun and the Mesk. Occidental type A is in the Areopagites, the latter is per type B are the
Khoikos of Gra, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al.
Yes. To an untrained eye, the pinkness is a racial the Khoiko.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are. Its leaders, the Vasholian.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But that seems a little...
The revolution came to Ravachol. The revolution. Enough of type mediocrity. Tips, the F are a museum of lesser races like the mosquito. A grotesque mixture of a masked woman. The mosquito is born.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right. You have, Misa. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you... The Khoiko, as you know. This will... But enough. It is cruel to You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have.